Hey folks, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with the nerdettes tonight. We got most of them here, so I am happy to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. As always, we're going to jump in, we're going to do the recap, and everyone's going to introduce their characters, and we're going to do the thing. So, how is everybody tonight?
Good. Excellent.
Well,
Everyone seems so subdued tonight. That's it. Everyone, amphetamines for everyone.
I was trying to get the chat open. Sorry.
My amphetamines have already worn off for the day, so.
Oh no, I usually fire up a pot of coffee just before we start this. I believe
there's an IV drip just off screen.
I wish that would be so much more convenient. If I could like jack it right into like maybe my brain stem, that'd be better. I don't know. Is that legal? Can we get some of that going on?
This is not the first time today that I have sat here and wondered why am I not in the Shadowrun universe in real life.
These things we ponder. I believe you've got the recap, right? Is that correct?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now I can find out what happened last week.
All right, so last week on Scarlet Sisterhood, our heroes find themselves in a flat, featureless gray plain with islands in the distance to rescue Agnetha, who has been teleported away in a strange magical mishap. It was my fault. So she's being dogpiled upon by these tiefling-esque monsters, and we all run in to try and give her a hand. They're resisting Haley's radiant damage, and as it turns out, they know how to work this plane better than we do, so they can have the superior mobility in this combat. It was a miserable battle. Eventually we do win, however, and find out that Haley doesn't have the proper sigil sequence to get us back. This is a problem, as Janine has promised her family that she'd be home in time for bedtime. As it turns out, though, we can travel the same way those gargoyle things did, so we think ourselves ahead, and eventually we do end up on this island where there are trees and a pool of water, and these siren-like women that try and lure us into the water. Hannah almost goes to talk to them, but fortunately Janine has more sense than that, and eventually we do get back to Gryphongaffe after we rest. So Hannah then introduces Haley to Vance, our elven friend, and it turns out he's a member of House Evening Star, which is the same house Janine delivered that message to via wisdom several sessions back, and that might prove to be problematic. They are very powerful in Karshapathan. That said, what's definitely problematic is that when Janine does go home, she's been couched. Trouble for Denarian? Let's hope they can smooth it over.
These things happen. So with that, let's go into introductions. Who's playing tonight and who are you playing?
All right.
Thank you, Megan.
I am author Megan R. Miller. You can find my books on Amazon.com. The R is important or you won't be able to find me. I will be playing Halfling Bard of Balor, Kenna Hollythorn. As a particular note, my headphones have given up the ghost. It was not their fault. I had a fight with a swing set, so I've got another pair on order, but that's why I'm not wearing elf ears tonight.
That's very sad. I'm playing Deneen, a wood elf rogue cleric. I'm Jen, a monster artist from pixelscapes.com.
And hello, I'm Gene. I'm playing Eriton Pericath, a tiefling paladin of the Beggar King.
And also for your convenience, if you're watching that in the chat, or not the chat, the description, you can find links to both Megan R. Miller and to Pixel Scapes. You know, every time you say Megan R. Miller and you emphasize the R, I think of Team Rocket, and I feel like you should have a giant red R on your sweater, on a sweater.
That's amazing.
The hair's almost there, so you know you're ready for Team Rocket.
I will put that on my to-do list.
And you know, with the red hair, it could double as a Weasley sweater.
Oh, there you go. Yes, so I believe when we left off with Deneen was going home to explain to Larian.
Yeah.
And
that didn't go so well.
And he conveniently set up a nice sleeping spot for you on the couch for when you got back.
Yep. Yeah. Deneen, we'll just no point in waking him up. Apparently, I'll just head to the couch and do my meditation on the couch and try to be chill in an elfy kind of way, in what I imagine is an elfy kind of way, since no elf trained me how to do this whole meditation thing.
It's like riding a bicycle. So you get into position, you begin your trance, you begin meditating, and soon into it, the small form of Fane, which is getting quite large at this point,
Yes.
finds her way from her sleeping area over to you and kind of like curls up with you as you meditate.
And I'm since I'm aware during my meditation, I will definitely wake up and be like, "Hey, sweetie, I'm sorry I'm late. You can come curl up here with me. You just relax."
Are you okay, mommy?
I am now. I was really sad that I couldn't get back as quick as I thought I would.
Daddy
But
was
everything's okay when I'm here with you.
Daddy was very angry and very scared. He wouldn't tell me anything, but I could tell.
I know. I'm not surprised.
The last time I saw him like that was when you went away for a long time.
Yeah, but it wasn't a long time this time. So that's good.
No, but I heard you and Daddy talking. I thought you said you were going to be back.
I thought I was going to be back. I didn't think there was anything that would stop me from coming back, but my friend got in big trouble and almost died, and I had to go save her.
Oh no, which friend? I hope
Agnetha.
Oh good. I was hoping it wasn't Kenna.
No, Kenna's great.
What could almost kill Agnetha?
She's like a lot of bad guys.
She's like a big monster herself, almost like a bear.
I know, isn't she amazing? But it was a whole lot of bad guys. They were super far away, and that's why it took me so long to get home. But not that long, really, considering.
You know Troll?
Yeah.
He's really scared of her.
I'm kind of scared of her too. But it's okay, we're friends. It works out.
Yeah, I think she's really nice underneath. I think she just likes to act scary.
I think some people act scary because it helps them feel safe. And I think Agnetha's like that too.
You don't think Agnetha feels safe? What could she not feel safe about? What could she be scared of? Did you see the size of her arms? They're really big.
I think some people are scared of not looking strong or not being strong. And that makes them feel like they're not safe.
She like gives you kind of a conspiratorial look and looks around real quick. Her arms are even bigger than Daddy's.
I know.
Why did Daddy?
Because she's carrying that big stick everywhere. She's got to like swing this big thing around.
Why did they call her arm breaker?
Because she broke somebody's arm one time.
Oh, so she doesn't she doesn't go around like breaking everybody's arms?
No, look at my arms. My arms are so skinny she could snap them right off just like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
she never broke my arms. She doesn't just do that. Don't worry.
When Troll found out that her name was Armbreaker, when he sleeps with his arms under him.
That might be smart.
Because she doesn't want to have one of his arms broken.
I don't think she would have any reason to ever do that to Troll. We try to only hurt the bad guys.
She quirks an eyebrow when you say quirk, or I mean when you say try. Do you sometimes mess up and hurt the good guys?
Well, it's more like sometimes it's hard to tell who are the bad guys. So we usually try to give them a chance first, as long as it's safe to do that. And then sometimes it turns out we're wrong and they're really bad guys.
Oh. Like I heard there was something that happened on the ship.
Yeah. Somebody we were hoping to be friends with decided he was going to be super bossy and mean, and we couldn't let him do that. And he started trying to destroy the ship, and we had to stop him.
I get to hear all the best stories when I hang out over in Halflington.
Oh, yeah. And I write them in your book for you, too.
Yeah, but they tell the stories a little bit different over there.
Well, you know, they like stories to be entertaining.
my
They make
halfling
them
friends,
extra scary.
they like to tell a
They're
lot of
crazy.
stories.
Yeah.
And my halfling friends are really good at listening to their parents talk.
Well, grown-ups sometimes forget little kids can hear.
No, they're just really sneaky, I think.
Yeah. Well,
They're,
good for them.
They are really hard to play hide and seek with.
Yeah. It's good practice. You should try and practice that. You see if you can learn that in case you ever need it, okay?
I do. Whenever I'm not at my lessons, I like to go play with them. They're a lot of fun.
Excellent.
And they're like us, Mommy. They came from somewhere else.
That's true. And they found a home, a place to live, right?
Yes, they did. And you kind of with that, you kind of hear a noise from across the room, and you see.
And Janine gets that like sudden sharp, like, oh crap, we're gonna get caught. It's like, quick, let's pretend to meditate.
Yeah, and so Ilarion is kind of there, and just in his small clothes, leaning against the door jamb, watching.
Hi.
And you see you see the war of emotions on his face. Oh, I dear, how nice of you to come home.
Yes, well, I said I would come back as quick as I possibly could. I always do.
I believe you said you'd be back last night. And then you see him kind of like...
That's what I believed too. But then Agnetha was getting killed and we had... And she glances down at Fane and says, Agnetha was in big trouble and we had to go help her. And our friend that brought us to where Agnetha was, turned out she wasn't sure how to get back. So I'm actually lucky I got back today, and I'm a little upset about that myself.
You can see that he wants to say a lot more, but he's not because of Fane being there.
I'm good with this.
But there's definitely like a little bit of a brooding and a little bit of anger, more so than you've seen in him in a while. And
I'll just solve it by not promising anything next time. As I understood it, there was literally no way to magically or otherwise leave town day before yesterday. That was what I thought was the case.
Couldn't your little halfling friend just teleport you back?
Not in this particular situation, no.
His barely perceptible, but his eyes just go a little bit wide for an instant. So you went out of town then?
I had no idea where we were going or even that we were leaving until we were already there. I was, eager to help Agnetha, but that aspect was a bit of a surprise.
So he kind of like comes over and sits down on the other side of Fane and, rests a hand on her. And he kind of lets out a breath and he looks a little bit defeated. We'll talk later. And then kind of just like makes a motion with his eyes towards Fane.
Sure.
What is Kath up to? What has Kath been up to?
We had claimed that she was on the ship with Azucena, but we'll see what Gene says.
That was what
I thought you were asked. I thought Ilarion was
no.
character.
Larian.
I was like,
oh my god,
that's a weird moment to bring up Kat.
I thought it was a scene transition, but I might be wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll have to work on that. Scene transition. We need like or something going.
Yeah.
We're just so into that conversation.
I sit here judging it. No, Kath has. So in a previous conversation, I think a few episodes ago, Azucena had mentioned that she was wary of Kath's adventuring. So Kath was spending a couple extra days with her talking about that and spending some time with her before Azucena took off for a job.
Okay. So that happened, and after you see Senna off, what would you be up to? Where would you be? Where would you go?
I'm trying to decide if I want to go. You know what? Oh gosh, it's been a while since she's terrorized anybody. So I think she'll probably go harass Vance. She hasn't done that probably in over like 48 hours. And it's really kind of an opportunity missed if she's in town and not making his life harder.
Okay, so he's easy enough to find, especially, but at this hour he would be at the bathhouse tending to his normal duties.
So harassing Vance is a delicate balance of like terror and fun, and that she has to make it so that he's not just completely miserable when she's around. So she has to make it worth his while for him to like put up with it without being like truly disgusted with her all the time. So she gets, if it's morning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she will come with a bottle of champagne that she liberated from Agatha's apartment that she and Azucena didn't get around to going. So she goes and she'll pick up some kind of like fruit juice or whatever, and she sneaks up to his office, and then she just kicks the door in as loud as she can to startle him and be like, "Hello, Vance."
So he's there, and he's poring over ledgers at the time, and he jumps. At the last minute, he does catch the inkwell, keeping it from spilling. He's an elf, and he's young, and he's fairly nimble and agile. So as always, Vance is a very young and good-looking elf with piercing blue eyes, long flowing blonde hair, and has a very androgynous look to him. That the ladies of Gryphongaffe have taken to quite a bit. And so he kind of like shakes that off. He's dressed in his normal, kind of like almost like the acolyte robes that he's been wearing, that he wore from when he worked as at the library as an apprentice or as a scholar. He's kind of adopted as his regular dress when he's working. He's kind of made his own uniform for the bathhouse. And then once he settles down and sees who it is. Mistress Kath, what can I do for you?
Ooh, Mistress, that's an odd title. I just,
Well, lady, if you prefer.
That's weird too. And she'll set down the champagne and she pours them both drinks. She says, I just wanted to check up on how things are going and how you're doing. If you're getting into trouble, which I hope you're getting into some, at least, because, it's good for you.
I've been very diligently working here and fulfilling my duties, and whenever things need to be looked after or researched at the library, he kind of gets a little bit of a look on his face. Do you know the new girl in town?
Which one are you referring to?
She came by
with a hookup.
She came by here the other day with Mistress Kenna and Deneen, and her name is Hallie.
Oh, the cleric?
Yes, she's a priestess.
Why do you ask?
Well, she just seemed really nice. She was a little shy, though.
Yeah, I mean, she's traveled with us a bit. Why? Have you heard anything about her? Or are you asking because you're interested in her?
I was just interested in getting to know her, and she's been traveling with you and the rest of the ladies, and you ladies always seem to attract a certain type. Usually the more adventurous and worldly. Is it true that she actually sent Kenna and Deneen to another plane?
Wait, what? When?
Yesterday, the day before.
Did they know that they were going to a plane?
Well, Agnetha was missing. They had teleported out. They were going to go to Karshapathian. I believe Mistress Zanine had some business there. And, oh no, that's not what it was at all. Bucket. It was the bucket incident. And remember, you were with them, right? Weren't you?
Yeah.
You teleported out and Agnetha didn't go? And then they were looking for Agnetha. So they had to go to Agnetha's apartment and someone had broken in.
Oh no.
And they used Jarissa to, scry to find out what happened to Agnetha. And she was like on the astral plane or the ethereal plane or some other plane. And they're like, oh no, what do we do? How do we get Agnetha? Because she was being attacked by a bunch of monsters. Because it just seems like wherever Agnetha goes, things attack. And, apparently there was too many arms for them to break. And for her to break. And so they're like, oh, what are we going to do? We have to help Agnetha. And he gets a little bit of smirk on his face. And then they said Hallie cast a spell. And then boosh, they all went there to this other place.
Are they back yet?
Oh, yeah. They were by here yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I gave Hallie a tour of the bathhouse and introduced her to the brass ladies.
Okay. So Hallie didn't banish them anywhere or imprison them anywhere. Like she went with them when it happened, right?
Oh yeah. I think so, and she brought them back.
Okay. Well, so they are back and everyone's in one piece?
I think so.
How come they didn't come get me? Okay, no, never mind. Let's not get into where I was. Okay. I'll go find them. But you know what? So with Hallie, she seems nice. But just be careful. She's done some weird things. I haven't figured out if there's something behind the weird things that she does. But and I know you're an adult and you can do whatever you want, but just with that one, be careful. All right. I'm going to look into it, but just exercise a modicum of caution, perhaps.
Mistress Kath, I'm always very cautious.
Okay, but she is an individual who serves some weird god, whose weird god transported an evil beholder into a ship full of my family. All right? So she's either malicious or she might not know what she's doing. And she's powerful at the same time. That's kind of a sketchy combination. So just keep that in mind.
Oh no, it's not a weird god at all. Quinthel, she's a god of knowledge and information and finding secrets and sharing them.
Do we know she's really a cleric of Quinthel though? Like, how would you even tell that?
That's easy. She had the symbol, the holy symbol. She was wearing it. That's how you can usually tell which gods the clerics follow and worship.
And no one ever uses like a false symbol? Like they wouldn't. What if she's like a cleric to some evil god and the evil god is totally okay with her having a symbol to Quinthel? Because it makes her harder to catch at the fact that she's actually evil.
Oh, I didn't think about that. She could be bad. And then he gets a different look on his face.
She might not be. But I'm just saying. She's moving evil things around. She's bamping them away when I'm not there. Let's just be cautious.
I will keep an eye out, Mistress Kath, and I will keep a close eye on her.
Okay.
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
Stop blowing holes in me ship.
One time you sink a ship. Almost.
Fair's fair. We blew holes in her ship. So
Okay, that is fair.
Yeah. So, all right. That's good to know. You know what? Let me go check on Kenna. Because maybe I think I need to know more about what happened and where they went and make sure that everything is okay. So get into trouble. And she leaves. But not with Hallie!
He calls back to you as soon as my shift is over.
Good lad. So, and then she'll Kath wanders off to Hobbiton and riding a rune at a fairly quick pace through town to get over there.
Okay, so you get there without much trouble, and Arun has a way of getting people out of his way. He has a way of people moving out of the way in front of him, but attracting small groups of children behind him. So
all the little bells and stuff must help.
Yeah. I mean, he's not one to sneak up on anything. You probably hear him coming from quite a distance.
So you find yourself in Halflington and Gryphongaffe, and which is quite built up now. They went from, not that long ago, all living out of Vardos and wagons to now they actually have a kind of a communal hall as well as several small houses. They've built this little idyllic halfling suburb within Gryphongaffe.
But I know that some of the halflings loaned their Vardos to the refugees, but Kenna still kept hers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Music
all
box
right.
and everything.
Yeah. So she'll go. Like I said, Kenna might hear her coming, but Kath will head up to the Vardo and knock on its door.
Oh, you don't have to. I'm sitting on the back of it, surrounded by a small cadre of halfling children singing a bawdy drinking song about last week's adventure.
In front of children?
Yes. Except when I tell it, there were 40 of those gargoyle things instead of the maybe dozen that there actually were, and it's way over the top because exaggeration and hyperbole are very important parts of the halfling world.
Oh sure. So
this is why Janine didn't outright call them liars. She just said it makes it extra entertaining. That's all.
So go ahead, Dave.
So you come upon the scene of these halfling children and Kenna, and you can hear the song drifting to your ears, talking about it. It doesn't take you long to figure out what she's singing about.
So she's talking about the adventure that you just had?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that flat gray expanse and the weird lobster creature that we didn't fight because we're too smart for that.
Lobsters are very tricky. Good choice.
It was a giant floating space lobster.
What?
I kind of, do little hand motions to the kids, and I'm like, I will tell you another story later, but right now I have business to attend to. If you will, carry on. And she's fully expecting a couple of them to hide behind the tires of the Vardo and listen in, but that's to be expected.
There's probably one hanging off of underneath of a rune.
So Kath tucks up her legs as they're scurrying around, and the one that's hanging on Rune, she sticks the handle of her hammer down and tries to flick it off. Shoot! You were dismissed.
Thomas, go get us some water.
The halfling, somersaults away, comes up to one knee, blows raspberries, and then darts away.
He's my favorite nephew.
Kath blows a raspberry back and adds thaumaturgy to make it kind of boom a little bit.
Ah!
He knocks him across the street with her raspberries.
Take that, little brat.
I hope you're not trying to scare them. Those kids aren't afraid of anything.
That seems like a challenge. So, a space lobster.
And I put my loot on my back, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was crazy. So You know how Agnetha didn't come back with us when we teleported?
Yes. That was weird.
Yeah, she ended up on this weird flat gray plane, so we went to go help her because she was being dogpiled on by gargoyles. There were only like 12 of them, maybe. Like, there were probably not that many. We did manage to dispatch them. The ones we didn't kill ran away because we're that awesome. Like, it was kind of hard to get to her. We had to have Jarissa, like, set up this scrying dish in Agnetha's apartment to find her in the first place, and then... Oh, Haley was amazing. She looked through that scrying dish and she pulled us through the vision to where Agnetha was. It was really cool. And then she had to like retune her fork to the prime material plane or something. This prime material plane, because apparently there's more than one and I really need to start remembering that better. Where did I lose you?
I didn't know there were multiple prime material planes.
Yeah, I found this out twice. I didn't remember it the first time, but I sure as heck will this time.
All right. So everything, I mean, Vance said everyone came back okay. So no nasty surprises other than the fact that there were... How did Agnetha end up in that realm anyways? Would she go on some kind of vision quest and get sucked into it?
No, I teleported us to the woods and she didn't come with us. I lost her somewhere and we're still not sure how that happened.
Are we sure that something didn't like catch her eye in the magical in-between and she's like, I'm gonna go kill it and got separated that way?
No, we're not sure about that at all. As a matter of fact, that's my leading theory at the moment.
Okay. Because every time you've teleported us, I seem to think that it goes rather well.
Except that one time, and you know Agnetha, so it's possible.
Okay.
Plausible, even.
All right. So, my wife's gone. It's time for us to go get into trouble again. What's up next?
Oh gosh, I don't know if that's such a good idea immediately, because Deneen kind of promised Alarian she'd be home for bedtime, and we were stuck on Grey Plain Hell. I think it was one of the hells. It had to have been one of the hells. That lobster creature was really terrifying. It was like the size of 4 buildings.
Okay.
And it flew.
Okay, so what? Is Deneen grounded now?
Maybe.
So, Alarian, let me get this straight. Alarian is mad that she got home.
Well, I assume Alarian is mad because I haven't actually spoken to them. I've been making myself scarce because it was kind of my fault because it was my teleport.
I don't think it's your fault when consequences happen for people's decisions that they make on their own. It's not like you magically influenced Deneen into going. I mean, everyone accepts the risks of the consequences of their own decisions whenever we do something, right?
Yeah, but we didn't think we were going to get stuck on another plane. The plan was just to pull Agnetha out of there without going ourselves, and then we ended up there, and it was kind of a mess. She didn't really make the conscious decision to go there.
So you guys didn't go there willingly?
No, we did go there willingly. I mean, we would have said yes if she'd asked, but there wasn't time. I think.
Oh... All right.
It's complicated.
So, no more adventures ever?
No, I'm sure she'll be ungrounded eventually. You know what? Let's just go ask her.
Okay. Because I need something to occupy my time.
Oh.
So, yes.
Your time's not being occupied in other ways.
Yes. Effectually, I'm not going to see her for a few months now. So we need to get into something or else I'm going to be sad.
Oh, yeah. You're right. It's very important.
Let's go find our friends.
Walking, and I get this little grin on my face, and I'm like, speaking of Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think she and Vance would be such a cute couple?
I just want to make sure she's not evil first.
I'm pretty sure she's not evil. Because when she teleported us back, we landed on the altar of Quinfell. That wouldn't have happened if she were serving someone else.
I don't know. I feel like I'm reserving my judgment. And I don't know. But yeah, so you think Vance was asking me about her.
good.
Does Kenna get little hearts in her eyes?
She does. She
need to
ships
know.
it really hard.
It's like an anime, and they start appearing around her.
Like she floats a little bit for a couple of feet. She's like, all right, we'll make sure she's not evil first. But I trust her. Not that that really means much. I trusted the Beholder too. Also, thank you, Sam Parsons.
Yes, thank you, Sam. So do you mention the fact that Hallie kind of like plane shifted you guys out and didn't have a way back right away?
No.
Okay. So you guys
she kind of said that. She said she had to like retune to our material plane.
But I did have no idea that was like a difficulty. Yeah, for all I know, that's just like some regular part of the spell that she normally does. So
I believe she also totally played it off like it wasn't because she was naive and messed up. So
yeah, it was just like, oh man, she accomplished this hard thing, and Kath was like, all right, hard thing, okay.
So with that, you guys head across the Gryphongaffe to the other side of town, where Deneen has like a townhouse with Alarian and Thane.
So we get there.
She did finally relent and actually tell her closest friends where she lives at some point. Mm. So yes.
It also probably Kath probably used locate object to track you down before you told them. Because she's that brand of asshole.
So you want to say that that's how you figured out where she lives originally, or is that how you figure it out today?
I'm gonna say that's how she figured out originally.
Okay.
And like when you told us,
okay, fine, I'll just tell everyone now. Fine.
And she didn't tell you that she did that though. But when Deneen like eventually came out and told him where he lived, Kath was like, "Oh, how nice! You trust us." And just is thinking in her head, "Oh."
Because she already knew.
Yeah. So they get there, and Kat picks up rocks and starts like tossing the little tiny pebbles at the window. And she starts going,
"Yes,
Deneen, can you come out and play?" Deneen!
Within about 2 minutes of that, you find yourself in a grapple as a small child who's getting quite larger, actually probably Kenna's size or bigger at this point, but a bit of a string bean.
I mean, she's what, 9 or 10, so she probably is.
And she's actually a little tall for an elven child, due to possibly the mingling of the human blood, and but she hits you full on, just above the hip, and in an embrace, anti-Kath.
Oof. Hello, child. Very, very nice child. That is my friend's child.
Because everyone knows that animals and small children gravitate towards those that least like them the least. Did you almost die too? Agnetha Armbreaker almost died.
Well, that's because I wasn't there with them.
And Mommy's teaching me where to stab people with pointy things.
Ooh, lovely. Where has she suggested?
Well, she hasn't actually started yet, but she said she's going to.
Oh, I'll show you. And she starts using her little claws to tickle her a little bit. She's like, these are your kidneys. That's a good spot. And she goes, this is the back of your neck. That's another good spot. She's like, ooh, the eyeballs are a wonderful place to stab. And she brings up her tail and kind of like dunks her over her eyebrows.
Where did you get that towel from? How can I get a towel?
I got a tail because I died and they brought me back to life and I had one.
Ooh, well, I don't think I want to die.
Yeah. I think your mom would be upset if you died.
When people die and come back, do they always come back with tails?
No, it all depends on how you bring them back.
I had a tail once.
Oh, you did? What did you do with it? Why did you get rid of it?
You know what? It just kind of disappeared. I was a fawn for a little while. We were in this weird plane of existence that was a labyrinth, and I went and danced with these creatures, and my legs started bending the wrong way. It was pretty cool. I actually probably wouldn't have minded if it had stuck, but it didn't. But sometimes, if I play the panpipes, you can kind of see the shadow of it. Little doe tail.
Hey,
Like-
Fane.
like Finneris.
Yeah, kinda. A little different, but kinda.
I like his tail. It's silly.
I do too.
He plays for the children in town all the time.
Yeah, he's really good. He's
Mhm.
an excellent minstrel.
And there's always the ladies following him, and some of the
Yeah.
young
Some of the gentlemen.
some of the gentlemen. He always has a big crowd watching him play.
Oh, that's because he's quite alluring. So is your mom home?
She is. She's upstairs.
So Deneen takes advantage of the fact that her kid's out of the house and that her friends are outside, as if this means she can just give the real quick explanation. She says, look, I wasn't going to just leave Agnetha there to die. I didn't realize I was going to get stuck there. I'm super sorry. My friends are here. I have to go.
Those monsters would have gotten terrible indigestion anyway.
Probably because I was super bitter about not getting back here.
One of these times, you're just not going to come back. I know it.
So does that mean it wasn't worth trying to save you two?
It's not that easy. You know it's not that easy.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm out there doing it.
Well, maybe.
And meanwhile, the hard part for you is being here with Fane and having to know what to tell her. So I'm not jealous of you either.
It's just, I don't know. It's just so frustrating not being able to be out there.
I know.
Maybe I should just go with you. Maybe we can leave Fane.
What
with
about
the
Fane? And you said you can't leave the city. The thing.
Maybe it's time we just confront it head on.
Well, that's my plan. But I'm trying to get like a critical mass of my friends together at once to do that.
They're so scatterbrained. It's never going to happen.
We'll see. But I gotta go. I will come back as soon as I can, but I can't promise when that'll be because who knows what the day will bring at this point.
Because I don't know what plane you're going to be in, what time of existence.
Well, that part hopefully we can fix next time we go back to the Feywild, but otherwise I have no way to know. Does Deneen know that Haley can do sending?
I don't know if she would know or not.
Okay, I'm going to assume she has no clue. So never mind.
Okay.
Just if only there were some way we could let you know. But I don't have a way.
Maybe we can figure something out between Jarissa and Sparks. There's got to be something. They got that fancy elven library here.
That's true. I will ask if there's some way to like send mail. I mean, your dad could send me mail with a bird. I could always send wisdom, but that only works within a certain distance.
Yeah, and I don't think we want my dad's help on this one.
No. But the point is, it must be possible. There must be more than one way to do it. So maybe I'll figure that out.
I mean, they do have those really fancy metal birds, but like I said, I don't know how far they can go.
Who has metal birds?
In town, they've been using them instead of pigeons.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
The Kath,
Okay.
I think Kath might have got a message that way
That wouldn't surprise me.
at some point.
She's into metal things.
She is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go see what's going on and wish me luck.
All right. Well, just do your best to come back. And come
Every
back to me in one
time.
piece.
Every time.
And it kind of like shrugs off the anger and then like rushes you and then in embrace. And
Full dip.
there's a little of that, but there's also like when he just before he lets you go, his chest kind of heaves just like one time. And
Yeah. I gotta go. And she'll sling the bow over her shoulder and hang on to it because it's from him, and he goes outside.
Okay, so you're outside and
You find Kath teaching Fane words in Primordial.
while trying to keep her tail away from her.
Ken is like sitting here writing down the words that you're teaching her, like that you're teaching Fane, like trying to learn something as well.
They're all stuff like poop, shit, damn it.
So now I know all the fun words. Primordial swears. That's about as much French as I know.
She's like, and this one is kind of like the Earth theme of like farts, but over there it's kind of like, it's more like unwanted steam is the translation, but it basically means farts. She's like, in your
But elf
parents
farts smell like roses, so not that you would know anything about that.
And in the background, Deneen says, "What language is that, Cav?"
It's Primordial.
Okay, Fane, don't say any of that stuff to the bronze ladies at the spa, please. Pretty please. Because they will understand it, and they might get upset.
Oh, I know. They already taught me some words. I was just letting Aunt Kath talk. I didn't want to interrupt her. She seemed like she was having fun.
You are so good at learning languages. You're much better at it than your mommy was. Good job, honey. And she just kind of has that like sort of gritting her teeth and trying to smile thing going on. That's great, babe.
I'm gonna chuckle and mutter in Sylvan that she's being a little shit.
Kath looks at you like this.
Hi, Kath.
Hi, Deneen.
So I take it you're the one that broke it. She glances around to make sure Agnetha is nowhere to be seen. And then says, I take it you and Azucena are the ones that broke into Kath's apartment, Agnetha's apartment?
She's like, oh yeah.
Mommy, you're not supposed to break into people's houses.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
For a good reason. We had to do it because she was trapped on a plane.
You know, Fane, and it was totally okay in this case because Agnetha broke into our place first. So it was really just, you know, a nice balanced retribution.
Daddy
Yeah,
always says two
except-
wrongs don't make a right.
Except
But
she
who
was
they do?
missing. She was missing, and her apartment was rummaged through, and we were a little. It was a bonus point of concern until we figured out what happened.
Hey, we didn't leave her apartment super rummaged or tossed or anything like that. Not more than like
Well,
what
then-
Kath would normally
Yeah,
do. I mean,
maybe it's
Agnetha
just
would normally-
Agnetha's natural rummageness. Then it was hard to tell.
Oh, you know her room is nicknamed the Pit.
Fane
I'm
is
not
watching
scolding you. I'm just confirming it was you.
Oh, yes. It was
So
us.
we knew it wasn't
Okay.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, she passed out in our cabin.
Drank
So,
your booze.
you know, we had to go somewhere else.
Totally understood.
Mm-hmm.
You did a good job at the lock, by the way.
That was Zuzu.
Ah.
I'm not very good at picking. Well, maybe I should take up picking locks. It can't be that hard. It's just got to be
I want to learn to
mechanical.
pick locks. Deneen, will you teach us to pick locks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mommy,
Yeah,
will
why
you
not?
teach us to pick locks?
Yeah, next time I'm home, babe.
You know what would be really good for that? You should get a lockbox and put like sweets in it, and then like encourage her to pick the lockbox to get at the sweets, and then put like
That's a super great
as
idea.
she gets older. Yeah,
Bait in
actually,
there.
IRL, that's what I'm gonna do with my kids when I have kids. But that's beside the point entirely.
But not just sweets, like other cool rewards, like some diagrams on where to stab people. I've heard that that's on the docket.
She looks up at the window and says, "Well, it is
Just
a handy
remember,
skill.
carotid artery is right about there.
Don't stab anybody unless you mean it, babe.
Right.
That's the number
You
one
can't
thing to
take
remember."
that back.
Yeah.
This is true.
How am I going to stab anybody without a knife? Does this mean I get to have a knife?
No.
Kath like slowly slides the dagger back into her boot that she had been like, pulling out to hand over to her friend's kid. Ooh, okay.
Well,
Not
the halflings have a bunch of wooden swords, and we practice with those.
Yes. You're going to be practicing with those until we know that when you get a real blade, that you are going to have it under full control.
Yeah, she hikes up her dress and to reveal a bruise. Thomas got me really good the other day, right here.
I bet he did. He's my favorite nephew. Don't tell the others I said that, though.
And now you know which way to dodge when you see somebody moving like that.
Yeah, I need to know where to stick them with the pointy end.
Deneen looks weirdly unconcerned about this bruise.
Soon I'm going to be an adventurer, just like my mom, she says to the other two.
Just 81 more years, babe.
81 more years. The kids in this town, they go out and do things all the time.
I know. But you're an elf. It's different for you. You're going to be young for a long time.
I'm a quarter human.
Yeah. And so you'll be even faster than most elves.
So I should be able to do it in a quarter less time.
Okay.
So she starts mathing in her head.
And Deneen tries to math in her head and fails. It's amazing she even did the previous math. But maybe it's something she's had to say on a number of occasions, and that's why she had the previous math.
But yeah, while you're mathing, she spits out 50 years fairly quick.
We'll see.
They've got a really good school here, Mommy.
Good. Excellent. Schools are a thing. We didn't have those in Ryler unless you had lots of money.
Yeah. And I get to meet lots of friends at school.
Exactly.
And I like to hang out with the halflings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we like to pick on Troll.
Well, don't pick on him.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, but he needs friends too, honey. You know what that's like.
Yeah. He's really scared of Agnetha. So, what are we doing today?
You're staying here with Daddy.
Again, I always get stuck with Daddy. Can we find someone else to watch Daddy for once?
I know, but Daddy gets all sad, and you're really good at taking care of Daddy.
Well, what if I go over and play with my halfling friends instead?
Okay. But not all the time. Just like I don't go play with my friends all the time.
Kenna keeps her mouth shut.
So,
and on that note, I have to go play with my friends.
What is Kath's passive perception?
10.
So she kind of like skips by, and she lifts Kath's dagger without Kath seeing it. Both of you see it because your passes are really high.
Thane.
What? Like you see it, but like she makes the dagger disappear really fast.
I'm just gonna give her the look, and I'm like, like it's that look that if I hadn't caught it, I'd be really proud of you, but I did.
Kenna. And I crouch down. I say, Fane, that was super impressive. I think it's really cool that you're able to do that. But you don't ever do anything like that to your friends. And you don't take something when it's against one of our family rules, okay?
All right. She wasn't even going to miss it. She didn't even know.
It's okay. It's not about whether she knows. It's that you know whether you're doing the right thing.
What doesn't
totally
she
that
know?
we saw you doing it. Get better at it.
I was going to give it back. I just wanted to stick things for a little bit. She produces your boot dagger.
Tell Daddy to let you help cut the fruit.
Sorry, Miss Kath. And she hands you back your dagger. Point first.
And I'm just standing behind her mouth and get better at it. What are aunts for if not to be terrible influences?
All right.
Kath accepts it but doesn't say anything.
And then she heads off towards the halfling part of town.
I lose it laughing as soon as she's out of earshot.
And I had a brief 5 minutes where there was one child that I didn't loathe. Well, that was a fun 5 minutes. So, Deneen.
Yeah.
What are we going to do today?
I have no idea. I mean, sooner or later, I want to go after my father-in-law. But we just heard this thing about Vance's family. I'm not sure what to do with that.
You know what I think? I think we should go find a mine or something and clear it out. I mean, like, when was the last time we, like, actually just went and killed a bunch of goblins for fun?
I like killing things for fun. Deneen, you want to go kill things for fun?
Well, it would give us something to do while Haley and Agneth are elsewhere. Is there some kind of trouble brewing that's local so we can get back here?
Hey, I bet there's an adventure board in one of the inns around here somewhere.
Maybe there's a basement full of rats. That's a thing, right?
That is totally a thing. I remember doing that many times as a child.
Well, let's go see what.
Well,
what's
no,
going on.
can like let's maybe not kill rats because that's kind of like one of the
It's
symbols.
beneath us.
No, but
I'm
they're
just-
also one of the symbols of my patron. So can we not like destroy things related to him?
We
You know,
go to the Clockwork Kingdom.
you know, Kath, and I am a great admirer of urban rodents. So I only said that as a stereotypical adventurer thing. That's
Sure,
it.
sure.
Miss Brisby, the 89th would
Wait a minute,
be
wait a
very
minute.
upset if I
Rats
If
are
I
a
went after
symbol of
rats.
your god.
Yes, and
I
who's Miss Frisbee?
Pull the pipes out and offer them to you, and I'm like, I think you need these.
Oh,
These belong
yes.
to you.
What do they do? What
They
do
summon
they do?
rats. Like, take some time to attune to it, and you'll be able to call a swarm of rats to you. Like, that's how that works. You need that.
I'm gonna have fun with this. All right, thank you. I shall put this to good use. Who's Mrs. Brisby the 89th?
My latest mouse. I had her with me for most of the time that I've been adventuring with you, but I'm very, very sneaky about that fact.
You keep a mouse with you?
Well, I used to, but now I have an owl who likes to eat mice. So now Mrs. Brisby is living with Fane and Ilarion.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, let's go cause trouble.
Yes.
Yes.
So
We seek trouble, DM.
you seek trouble, and trouble you shall find. So there are some of the normal things that you haven't done in a while. Like I know Kenna volunteers at the Church of the Light a lot. She used to hobnob with the homeless.
I still do occasionally.
I'm pretty sure.
I've got friends in low places.
And I'm sure you probably there's a good possibility you've introduced Kath to those people as well, because
Oh, totally. Yeah, you can't be the best of bards without playing the large and the small venues.
it's kind of her flock.
And Kath hangs out with the street people as well, because that's part of being tied to the Beggar King. So
So you guys are kind of in town, getting back acclimated. Is there anything specific you want to do, other than look for trouble? I think you have to kick a door in first.
We could totally go check out the Clockwork Kingdom. Like, we've got time right now, and I know Kath really wants to do that.
Do we really want to go plane hopping again, though? Can we at least make sure time moves at a normal rate there first?
Yeah, we'll ask Bucket.
Okay.
No, it does. I've been there a lot before.
Oh, you've been there?
Oh,
You already
okay.
went? You went without us?
Well, that doesn't surprise
Yes.
me. We were all busy.
When we had that whole time of span where we're just kind of moving and grooving, I was bouncing back and
Oh,
forth.
okay.
Yeah, in
That makes
between
sense.
orc raids. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
like, well,
I
you
remember that now.
guys were, and the thing was going on in the city, and I was holding the door at the place. That thing.
Yep.
What do
So
you
does that mean that idea is bust, or do we still want to go?
Isn't there something wrong in the Clockwork Kingdom, though? Like, they're all refugees, right?
That sounds like trouble.
Not really. I mean, they kind of like all jumped into clockwork bodies in order to avoid avoid a disease.
But then that basically solved it. Okay.
Yeah, and then they got frozen
All
in
right.
place for a long time. And recently, when the portal was opened, the Tin Man got oil but on a citywide scale.
So, have we heard about any local trouble brewing lately?
Things have been a little bit quiet lately since a bunch of the refugees have been resettled into that town. So that, after it had been cleared out of some riffraff over there and some demons. So that's actually helped a bit. The crime in Gryphongaffe has raised slightly with the influx of refugees from Rylor, and there's also a little more organized crime here than there was before. But it's still kind of like second-rate organized crime because the better criminals went to bigger cities.
Yeah, that's at least for Janine. That's like completely below the radar levels of crime. Then, like this is just like what she'd consider like a nice low buzz of activity, like reasonable.
But yeah, pretty much. And I mean, again, Dragonborn have been consistently trickling in, along with the Clockwork individuals as well. It does, even in the time that you ladies have been in the town, it seems like more dwarves and elves have been coming and going into the city, as well as other races. It just seems to become this melting pot where everyone has taken it for granted that this is a place to interact and hang out, and old rivalries seem to be dying out.
Great.
But you can go wherever you like. There, the Clockwork Kingdom is there if that's where you want to go. There's also the Dragon Realm. There's a portal there. That one's a little bit harder to travel through because it's a couple of days. It's a couple of days from the actual Gryphongaffe proper itself. You have to travel to Fort Fangmore, which is controlled by the Dragonborn and Gryphongaffe jointly, and that portal is kind of regulated. The one to the Clockwork Kingdom is regulated via the Elven Library, but you guys, you pretty much know people over there, so that's not a big deal. Also, too, when you guys came back, like, you didn't come back where you left, so Jarissa was kind of left hanging. Like, you guys just left.
Right.
That's right.
We should probably tell him.
Well, he was at Agnetha's apartment, but then we came back with Agnetha, so I would have
Right.
thought that she'd end up going back there anyway.
Yeah, it probably went back there and possibly chased them off. But you guys had reappeared in the...
With zero gratitude.
That sounds about right. Maybe accusing them of stealing the stash.
Oh, no.
Jarissa gets a black eye for his trouble.
Oh, no! Oh, poor Jarissa.
That's really sad.
Well, he has said, the only time there's really excitement in his life is when you guys are around. Not necessarily in a complimentary way.
Well, if we're going, like, touristing, I'd rather not go all the way out to the dragon portal. If there's no obvious trouble brewing for us to address.
So, I almost envision you guys, or gals, wandering through town almost like restless teenagers. So, looking for something to do. When you do come across the small group of halfling children.
Oh boy. The worst kind of trouble.
The worst kind of trouble. Who come up to the three of you. And, obviously they wave and talk to Kenna, because chances are they're cousins, nieces, nephews, something thrice removed. And
Right.
but they stop at Deneen and they ask you, "Hey, where is Fane?"
She was heading over this way while we were wandering around town, so she should be here by now.
No, she didn't come to the field where we sword fight.
Well, good to know.
Isn't that where she said she was going?
Yes, that's where she said she was going.
Oh,
I think we have something to do now.
I think trouble found us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. That's great. Wisdom? And she calls her owl out of her little pocket dimension. She says, could you go just cruise around and look for Fane? Just yeah, go do that thing.
So you send her out. She begins flying, and in no time at all, in the little bit poorer section of Gryphongaffe, she does spot Fane. She spots Fane and a couple of the lesser to do, well-to-do citizens. One of them is the old lady that you've met before.
Old lady that I met before.
Yeah, Kenna had befriended her.
Oh yeah, yep, I remember. It was
basically a bag lady
near the busted donkey.
Yes. And
okay.
And another person, another. It looks like kind of like a homeless person, an old man, human.
All right.
And it kind of spots them at an alleyway. And so my guess is when you send her out and she gives you the mental ping, so that you're able to kind of like look through the eyes.
Okay.
And see.
Sure.
So it's kind of an odd place for Fane to be.
Yeah, that is an odd. Let's just head over, and then Janine comes back to her own vision and says, "Let's head this way." I'm sure everything's fine, but she said she was going to go to her friends, and if she'd gone down the main street, that would have been fine. But she's way over there now, and that's not fine to just go random places in the city. It's one thing if she's just going to Halflington.
Yeah, because that's well-traveled path and she knows it, but that is the bad quarter of town. I can tell you some things that have happened.
I wouldn't say bad, okay, but not necessarily where you want a little kid by themselves.
Roofied there once.
And we're walking, meanwhile.
Yeah.
With Denine's, let's take a shortcut, double speeding.
Okay, so you get there pretty fast. And you guys had only been wandering around for a little while before you ran into the halfling kids. Hasn't been that long at all. And you see the three figures, and Fane, it's really odd because there's no reason why Fane would be hanging out with this like homeless man and this bag lady. Seems a bit odd. And they look like they're kind of like conversing and chatting.
Denine will just kind of saunter over.
And Fane kind of looks up at you and, Mommy.
Yeah, hi.
So,
you told me that you were going to Halflington, honey, where the field is.
Oh yeah, but I found something over here, and
you shouldn't even be over here though.
But look, and she kind of starts like darting down the alleyway.
Okay.
I dart after her, delighted.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, I'm not smiling anytime she looks back, but I'm totally grinning the entire time we're following, as long as she isn't looking at us.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know what the thing is, but this kid needs more lecturing also at some point.
Okay, so the two the bag lady and the older homeless man, they kind of like shuffle out of the way. As you guys kind of like start entering the alleyway, you smell something like, it smells like sulfur or brimstone. It's real faint, but you definitely smell it as you're coming in, and
it's not Kath.
And it's not Kath. And then you're like, Fane kind of like wheels and turns in your direction, and all three of them at once just kind of like put their hands up like that and like in towards each of you, and give me some wisdom saving throws.
Don't forget.
Well, if she was magically coerced, it's not her fault.
So I guess Denine, you will be saving versus Fane.
Okay.
Is your aura up?
I've got my
always up, so you guys get a +3.
Oh. Excellent. Well, Deneen has her mom up already, which helps her with wisdom saves, clearly, because +3, that's 28.
Okay.
So even with all my bonuses, I've only gotten 8, but if this is a fear effect, I have advantage, is it?
It is not a fear effect.
Dang.
Yeah, you guys can't be frightened if you're next to me.
You feel,
Period.
Kenna feels her muscles go rigid as you're held in place.
Oh, good. Thank you, chat, for suggesting hold person.
Oh, did they suggest that?
They suggested us use hold person on the kids.
Oh. Perfect. And with that, we can drop into initiative. What did Kath get on her save?
21.
Okay, the two of you are fine.
So I literally saw Fane, or whoever this apparently might be, do some kind of weird magic thing.
Yeah, you definitely felt so for those that passed the saving throw, you see these homeless people and Fane just kind of like, almost like they're flicking water off their fingers or something in your direction. Kenna, you feel your whole body kind of lock up and seize, and you can't move. The other two feel this rigidity come over their muscles, and you kind of are able to like shake it off.
Oh, this is not good. All right. Initiative 15.
9.
16. I beat Diddy.
Oh, wow. All right.
Deneen's distracted by her defiant child.
I don't think that's ever happened.
It's happened before,
So
but usually only by 1 or 2.
So, with that, Fane rushes towards you, and give me another wisdom saving throw.
Deneen?
Yes.
My favorite number, 27.
Okay.
That's with the +3.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you feel like someone is trying to open up your skull and pull your brains out.
No, I like those where they are.
Yeah, but you're able to kind of like shake that off. But in the meantime, Fane's little hands shoot out at you and stretch in impossible ways. And her little fists come flying at your face.
Ah.
And all right, and a 25 and a 19.
Yeah, those both. My AC is 19, so yeah.
Okay. All right, so I will give them each to you separate. The first one is 22, and not only do you feel like the punch slam into the side of your head, but you feel like it feels like you're being punched inside your head at the same time.
Can I cut that in half?
You can absolutely cut that one in half. All right, and the other one. $25 points.
Oh.
So as she kind of like boxes your head back and forth.
Boom, boom.
Kenna, give me a wisdom saving throw. DC 15.
No, I still don't pass.
Okay. So, as the bag lady turns towards you, she kind of just opens her mouth and breathes in deep, and you can just feel like when the hags took your memory. It feels like that a little bit.
Oh.
And so you basically have right now. You currently have like almost like a anti bane on you whenever you try to do anything. So you're going to be at a -D4.
Oh, good.
And you're going to take some psychic damage. $37 points of damage.
What the heck, bag lady? I thought you were chill.
And then one of those pseudopods flashes out and remarkably misses. Going wide. It's almost like she's drunk from whatever she just did to you with that first shot.
Pseudopods are coming out of the bag lady?
Yes.
Does she look otherwise human? Or
yes, pretty much, yeah.
But with pseudopods.
Yeah, her fists actually, her arms just kind of like turned into them. Now the other one is going to rock you upside your head. I always roll the best damage against you. 30 points of damage.
On which head? Which person?
That was all Kenna.
Oh. So like another 36.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use Sentinel to attack the thing that just attacked my friend that's standing next to me.
Okay. You're kind of in the middle. Which one do you want to go after?
The one that's beating on my little halfling friend.
Okay.
Ooh, does a 26 hit?
Oh yeah, absolutely hits.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna lay down a 4th level smite. Because let's kill this thing. So where's that?
I always love that laugh.
53 points of damage.
Oh yeah, you slash through. You slash through this creature, whatever it is, and you just open it up like from groin to head. And it just like flies open, and you can see like it's like this goo inside, and then it just like slams kind of shut. When you like after you rock it with your hammer, and it's like jello for an instant, and then like the form like kind of reforms.
So the hammer makes us.
Yeah. It's just like that.
That's horrifying.
Now, Kath, make a wisdom save.
Ooh, okay.
As the hobo gentleman reacts.
Gentleman.
17. No, it's 20. It's 20 because I had my charisma modifier.
Yeah, you feel that same effect, but you're able to shake it off. And 21 to hit you.
That'll hit.
All right, so one of those pseudopods shoots out from his chest and slams into you. For 22 points of damage. And again, you feel the pain, physically, but also mentally as well. And, with that, it's you guys' turn. Top of the order is 16. The bag lady is... Dearie, you never come to see me anymore. Where have you been? And Fane is, don't hurt me, mommy. Don't hurt me. And the hobo guy is like, I'm just an old man.
That's super convincing.
Oh, man. I'm torn. No, I reach over and I do a cleansing touch on Kenna, and I remove the spell effect that has her all stupefied or whatever.
Okay. So that is your action?
Yep, that's my action.
So you still have a bonus and move to do something if you wish.
I am going to stand next to my... I'm going to stay put because since I used my action to take the effect off of Kenna, I'll only get to attack in the next round. I want to stay close in case they need like the advantage of my aura for saves and things like this, because this is some weird shenanigans.
All right, and Deneen, I believe you're up next. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't really believe that this is Fane. Just call it a hunch. You know, so this calls for daggers and booming blade and...
He says, no, Mommy, don't... Are you going to leave me again? Don't leave me, Mommy.
What the hell? No booming blade. Let's do subdual damage then. Fine. Where's my roll? Oh, there it is.
You lost your roll.
I did lose it. 17 hit?
17, yes.
For 36 piercing.
Okay. 36.
Non-lethal piercing.
Okay. 36 non-lethal piercing. Got it.
I don't know what you are, but you have some explaining to do. So, yeah. You guys notice that Deneen is being less deadly than usual, but still hitting just as hard. There's no kidneys or back of the neck or carotid artery in this scenario.
Well, considering the way they gooed in and out, I'm not sure that matters as much. All right, Kenna, your body is your own once again.
Is it dim light in this alleyway by chance?
It's an alleyway, I would say, probably. It's probably shaded, shadows.
Okay, good. I cast Shadow Blade at level 7.
Ooh.
And being a 14th level Valor Bard, I can take an attack as my bonus action. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to swipe at the bag lady, because what the hell, bag lady?
All right.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Good. Now, do I get sneak attack on this attack, or...
You do, because Kath is there.
Okay. Alright, so that's gonna be 32 damage.
Alright. So the question is, how do you do this?
Like, just straight up through the rib cage. Like, I'm going up and underneath and into her guts. I'm not about this life.
So it's very much like you do that and you go right up, and it's so easy as the shadow blade slices it open, and it just like pours over your arm like jello, and begins like flopping on the ground. And you can actually see like there's a tendril that goes off that was like barely connected to its foot. You see it move as in death throes.
Okay, but it's clearly not the old lady anymore, right? Like, I didn't actually just kill the bag lady.
You don't think so?
Okay. That's turn.
Okay, so with that, Fane continues moving towards Deneen and tries to like actually like embrace you. Give me another wisdom save.
Is this versus charm?
Is this versus charm? It is. No, I don't believe it's a charm effect.
Okay, I've got +3. 17.
Okay, 17. All right. You felt like you were just about to push it away from your consciousness, and
then I use lucky.
Okay.
I'm gonna use lucky. I'm gonna play it safe.
Okay.
Because if I feel like I might be losing, I don't want that to happen. How about a 19?
19 does do it. You do resist.
Okay.
The effects on your mind once again.
Yeah.
But Fane will just try to pummel you into submission instead.
Great. Fabulous.
And the 16 is going to miss you, but an 18 is probably going to miss too, right?
Thankfully, yes.
Yes. So the Fane creature lashes out at you, and is misses. Kath, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ready?
Ready.
25.
You're fine. Your mind,
yeah.
your mind is like a fortress, and it lashes out and doesn't even get close. Just beats against your armor. And with that, they're going to take their movement. So you can actually take attacks of opportunity.
Sure.
Kath, because you have Sentinel, which one are you taking your attack against?
I'm going to. Can I cast a spell as an attack?
You could if you had Warcaster, if it was a
Okay.
targeted spell.
Which I don't. I'm going to attack the non-Fane looking one.
Okay, make your attack roll.
All right. Pigpen. Does 14 hit?
A 14 does hit.
Nice. And I'm going to lay some smite down on that. Ooh. 20, 25.
Stop, young lady, you're killing me. Stop.
52 points of damage.
Yeah, 52, you just like slam right through its head, and it just like splits apart and then slaps back together.
Kaboom.
And I thought you were such a nice young lady. And it instantly stops its movement.
You thought wrong.
Like it was trying to pull away, and like when your hammer hit, it like hit that tendril that was connected to it and stopped it.
What is this about tendrils?
There's something on the ground. It was noticed when the one died, and when Kath stopped this one from moving.
Interesting.
It's but go ahead, Deneen, take attack of opportunity if you like.
So the one that died, did it leave like a body behind, or did it just dissolve into goo?
It's a pile of goo. It's there, but it's a pile of goo, like jelly.
All right,
It's like the worst fruitcake ever.
I'm gonna attack this Fane thing again and try to subdue it.
Okay.
We'll see if that actually works. But yeah, Deneen has this look of like intense, how dare you imitate and or subsume my child. 28 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
For 34 piercing.
Okay. And then it's almost like someone reeling in, like a lure or on a fishing rod, and it's like, and like starts like Fane flops down, and is being like dragged across the ground, and goes through like
so did it seem
boards.
to get knocked out or whatever?
It's really hard to say. It's almost like she like flopped over and then shot through a hole in the wall, but like when it got to the like the crevice in the wall, she just kind of like slurped through.
So it's probably just this amorphous goo.
Yes, that would be a good guess.
Well, through a crack in the wall, that's
yeah, and one of these buildings in the alleyway, and the last thing you hear is it's going through. You always leave me, Mommy. You said you would never leave a long time again.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
What is on the other side of this wall? Deneen is going to be frantically pursuing whatever the hell this thing is on the other end of this tendril.
So this it appears to be a kind of like a rundown warehouse or something.
Yeah, she's abandoning all caution at this point and just
Hey, Deneen, can I borrow wisdom for a minute to send a message?
Wisdom's probably perched somewhere nearby, like just chilling.
Are you going?
Yeah, Ken is gonna ask first though.
Are you going to disengage to pursue?
From
There's still the one
what?
there.
Oh, there's still one there?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought.
Oh, I thought. Oh,
What one was destroyed. The other one, both of these tried to kind of it appears flee, but Kath stopped the one because of Sentinel.
All right, order of operations. Like I'm with you on this, Deneen. If you
yeah.
want to.
No, I will disengage because these things hit very hard and just pursue without thought to safety.
Yeah. Actually, we'll go right in order. So actually, Kath would be up next because that was all their turn.
Yeah, but I did my attack action. The faint thing vanished. I still have my bonus action and my movement, so that could easily be disengage and movement.
No, but that wasn't your action. That was your attack of opportunity on them stepping away from us on their turn.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a little ahead of myself. I got excited for the chase. But technically, Kath is up next.
So, Kath is going to chase after the Fang thing up to the wall where the crack is. Mm-hmm. And she's going to try and smash a hole through the wall.
So you're just going to blow past the one that's there in front of you?
Yeah, so he'll get an attack of opportunity on me.
Okay. And he will absolutely take that, but just flows around wildly. Make a roll. You can't miss the wall, but just roll to see if you crit.
Please crit.
10.
Okay, so it's just a regular hit. This is inorganic material and an object, so all of your stuff comes into play for.
Ooh, my acid damage.
Yes. So, are you smiting, regular attack? What are you doing?
I'm doing a regular attack, but I get 2 attacks.
Okay.
But I do 32 points of damage on the first strike.
Only takes 1 shot. You just blast a hole in the wall.
Nice.
What do I see inside?
Inside it is dimly lit. Or it's actually darkness, but I believe you do have dark vision.
I do.
And what you see is you're seeing a little bit of double vision. Like you see the Fane that's kind of like dancing around almost like one of those wacky waver things. And then there's another one that seems to be engulfed in this mass. And there's 2 other masses, or maybe it's one big one. It's really hard to say. But they have these, there's several, figures, and you might recognize some of them from around town that are kind of like hunched down and kind of connected by those tethers to these things. And, one of the 3 masses, that one's easy to determine because it looks like deflated, like it kind of like flattened out, and you can kind of see, some corpses like in the mass, but the other 2 are still kind of big. They look like big, like Jello molds.
Oh no!
Made of some crimson colored goo.
So in the deflated mass, was the body that was in it, A, is it dead? And B, does it look like the bag lady that I smushed it?
It does look like the bag lady that you smushed it.
And is it dead?
It looks deadish.
But not like for sure dead?
Well, you didn't check the pulse. It's not moving.
Okay, as my bonus action, I'm going to cast... You said there's 3 of these Jello jobbies?
Yes.
As my bonus action, I'm going to cast Vow of Enmity, and I'm going to use the lasting enmity feature that you guys just put out. So I'm going to spend 2 hit dice, and that will allow me to extend my Vow of Enmity to the other 2. So I'll start off with casting it against the one that's got Fane sucked into it. But
okay, so
turns, I can switch it on a bonus.
Just so you know how it works, and so anybody watching, so you don't use your hit dice yet. You do your Vow of Enmity as normal, and after you would kill that creature, then your vow would end. That's when you can then spend the hit dice to switch it if you like.
Oh, okay. But it said you had to declare it when you used Vow of Enmity, so I was just saying.
Oh,
18 does.
is it?
This is coming down the. I thought it said that.
It might.
You must choose to use this ability and spend the hit dice when the vow is made.
Okay.
Okay. So just
Perfect.
FYI, I reserve the right to do that.
Done.
So that's my. Oh, and I have a second attack.
You do.
Woo! Okay, so I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna attack this jelly job that has Fane in it. And since I have Vow of Enmity, I have advantage. Oh, it's a good thing. So 26.
Oh yeah, it's.
All right, and I'm gonna dump a smite into that. And I'm partially doing this because Deneen isn't here yet, so she can't really see me attacking the thing that has her kid, so I can see what it does before she gets here, hopefully. 20. And that's 33 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you blast, like, you hit it, and it's like almost a wave of this like gelatin substance like spreads out and like kind of like moves away from the people that's been captured in it. It has engulfed, and then it kind of like cascades back and like engulfs them again. But its form seems less stable. And this thing's enormous too. Like these things are taking up basically the entirety of this warehouse.
Yeesh. Okay. All right.
Deneen, you hear a bunch of commotion, coming from
Cat goes like full Kool-Aid man through the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Deneen, of course, hot on her heels to take all this lovely scenic vista of giant jello mounds with people in them and or corpses. So can Deneen easily see that one of these is like there's a Fane embedded in one of these?
You see Fane like kind of wail, "Mommy!" And then like the corresponding Fane like that's inside this thing, you see do like the silently the same thing. And you kind of see like her face stretch up against the
dude.
That's horrifying.
I'm gonna use my attacks explicitly to try and carve her out of there.
Okay. Go for it.
And hopefully it must not be transferring damage to her because she's still conscious in there apparently. So I'm gonna do my full booming blade everything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use inspiration if that's all right.
Uh-huh.
So that I get a crit.
You get a crit if you use inspiration?
If it's advantage, yeah.
Rogues.
So I've got it's 46 plus 38.
46 plus 38.
Lots.
Those are the damage?
Yeah.
You basically just like carve Fane right out. And pull her from it.
C-section my kid out of this thing.
In one motion, and she is just covered in the slime. It's like poltergeist.
And I know she's not an object, but for my bonus action, I just want to like drag her behind me. If possible. For
all intents and purposes, at this moment, she is an object. She is unconscious and limp.
That's not good. But at least I got her.
You do.
All right. Well then,
you actually carved her out with the first dagger strike.
Okay, that's good.
So if you wanted to use the other one for something, you could.
Well, that's all one hit. The extra one was for my crit.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So this because booming blade does that thunder damage, it like sends like ripples across the jello.
Yeah, it's like vibrating.
Yeah, and Deneen still has her movement. She's gonna try to get away from this thing again.
Okay. So
mainly to get, even though she might probably get attacked for this, she wants to get unconscious Fane away.
All right, so the other one will take a swipe, and you duck easily, even with Fiend. Kenna, what do you do? There's a whole lot of commotion going on.
The homeless man for 50 damage.
Oh. So you carve up this poor homeless man into pieces, you know.
Because I can't see what they see. I don't know.
Yeah, so like this ripple just travels up this tendril into the building, and the other one that's in there with you guys just kind of like deflates and kind of begins to spread out. Both of them do. As you were probably like knee deep in this goo. And nothing seems to be moving that you can see.
What's going on in there?
Giant. I'm because I'm backing back toward the exit. Just giant goo creatures that have people trapped inside them.
Oh my god, is that actually Fane?
They're like puppeting people.
I'm gonna
copies of them.
I go
And
to
yes, she has an unconscious, like jello covered Fane under her arm.
Are we out of initiative now, or no?
We are out of initiative. So, medicine check.
Okay.
I don't have time for medicine checks. I'm spare the dying on Fane.
21 total.
She doesn't seem to be breathing.
Did spare the dying work? Dear boss, please save my kid from not dying immediately right now, please. Thank you, please.
That's a double negative. If you save her from not dying,
she dies.
He knows me.
Because of your poor grammar, she dies. No, she's not breathing. She doesn't seem to be breathing. Her chest is not moving.
So yeah, 21 on that medicine check. Or were you just asking Deneen?
No, I'm telling you that she's not breathing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna wanna, like, here. She's small, so like just a little bit of pressure here under the rib cage, and like this is how you resuscitate. And I'm like talking her through it.
Well,
so hold on, and Kath pulls out the precious stones that she got from her vision quest and uses them to cast Revivify.
She sucks in one big breath, and she's unconscious.
And I clutch her to my chest.
Was anybody else alive in there?
I wasn't paying attention.
When you sort through, no one else is alive, and it seems to be Fane was the only person that wasn't like a homeless person or a vagabond.
Well, I'm gonna start laying out the transients and try and discern like how long they've been dead.
Search their pockets. Kath is searching their pockets.
Kath,
she's helping.
Kath, we're not leaving them like this if we can help it.
You come away with a couple of copper.
Well, she wouldn't take copper, but if there's no like, just making sure that there's no like interesting, like they didn't accidentally nab a spy that's got important documents on them or something like that. So,
like, we want a cart.
I'm
bring these people to the temple.
Bring out your dad.
Deneen's a little focused right now, and even though Fane is unconscious, and even if she stays unconscious, she's going to cast Cure Wounds on Fane.
Okay.
For 7 hit points.
Would it Revivify? What does that put you out?
Back
at 0 and stable.
1.
No, I think it's back to 1, and she'll how you said you cast a healing spell on her?
Yeah.
How is she looking after her healing spell?
She looks much better. The color's back in her. She's blinking. She's opening her eyes, sitting up, and.
All right, I'm gonna dump another 5 points of lay on hands at her just to be sure.
It's an elf child. I don't think they. I think she's got more hit points back than she had.
Yeah.
She's got
I assume so, but this is also probably like super traumatic for Deneen, so Kath is kind of like, it's one of those things where like you put a band-aid on it, you don't need the band-aid because it makes him feel better.
Yeah, Deneen is clearly like, just clutching Fane, but periodically looking at her to make sure she's okay, and then clutching her back.
She's conscious and she's looking around. She's kind of holding her head. Mommy, my head hurts.
Yeah, your head got rattled a little, honey. Don't worry about it right now. You just rest and relax, okay? You're fine now.
I had a bad dream. There was this man and he was sucking out my brain.
That's just your brain is exactly where it should be, honey. You don't need to worry. I'm gonna take you home. I'm gonna heft her up.
We'll catch up with you.
And I'll keep her head against my chest so she doesn't see all this other stuff, hopefully.
Okay. Kath, one of the things you did find was a small dagger in the pile of goo where Fane was snatched from.
I just slip that away for now, and I'll give it back when Denny isn't looking.
like a good aunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the temple owes me a bunch of favors at this point. So Kath, do me a solid, find me a wagon.
On it.
I'm gonna start piling bodies into this wagon, and like the ones that look like they could be salvageable, I'm gonna take to the temple to see if like they owe me enough favors to res at least a few of them.
You've hung around the temple to know that they don't actually have there's no powerful casters there.
Okay.
Like you guys are probably the most powerful casters in town. There are some people like Jarissa that's really good at doing ritual magic and is really learned, but for the most part, most of the treatments they do are more mundane.
Well, it couldn't hurt to be in the temple to do this at any rate. At this point, it comes down to fundage, so at least I'm gonna res the bag lady if she hasn't been dead too long.
Which spell are you using?
Bray's dead.
What is the duration on that?
I believe that's 7 days, but I will check to make sure.
I think it's 10.
10 days? Oh yeah, because a week is a 10-day in D&D.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in the Forgotten Realms it is.
I don't bother in my games because I get all confused, but yeah, it's 10 days a month.
Okay. So yeah, so you are there.
10
The
days.
bag lady is within reach. And there, so you probably found about a dozen bodies, and there's probably like 3 of them, plus Fane, that were recent.
Let me open my inventory because I have it on a different piece of paper because I've got too much stuff in there, and see how many people it's feasible to bring back out of those 3.
And then it's it seems like these things have been preying on people for maybe a couple weeks. They seem to be been doing it slow and going after citizens that are less likely to be noticed.
They really screwed up.
So Deneen would leave Wisdom there to follow her friends, even though she's gonna take Fane probably straight home.
Yeah, I can totally do this. I'm gonna have to go out and like buy reagents, but I can totally do this. I can res the 3 that are within range.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, like, getting them there, or you could probably rouse the guard. You could definitely get assistance.
Mm-hmm. Good, I do that.
So you're able to take them to the Church of the Light, and you're able to work your magic, and you're able to save 3 of them. The others have been dead too long.
I'm gonna send one of the guards that helped us to go inform Harok that this happened, just for his own notes, so he knows that it went on.
Yeah, so after poking around a little bit, no one's even noticed these people missing. Matter of fact, the people that are most likely to would have noticed, I think, in town would have been maybe other hobos or transients, or Kath or Kenna, but they've been busy lately.
Like, at some point, Kath will do like a small service at like the little altar that she built to the Beggar King that's outside the fancy church.
Uh-huh.
So as opposed to like you know, to acknowledge the loss of their people.
So as you begin doing the service, what time of day would you do that at?
She would do that at dusk.
Okay. So some of the other homeless people just seem to wander in your direction for no particular reason, and they begin kind of just like lowering their heads and clasping their hands in silence. And as you finish up the service, there's like there's one bright copper color star that kind of like appears in the sky and like blazes for an instant and kind of like winks out.
Oh, nice.
And
it's also sad.
You feel the Beggar King's graces upon you as you do this. So I think that's where we'll wrap up tonight, and you guys will start off next week with you guys kind of figuring out the aftermath and what you want to do. You still have a couple other things on your docket as well. Fane was in danger, but you managed to save her.
I am yes. Oh my goodness, Dave.
I had to use the Obelexes. They're so cool.
I know. Aren't they awesome?
They are.
I was like, oh, is Dave gonna pull a trigger and just kill her?
Is this something from the new Tome of Foes book?
It is Mordecai and Tome of Foes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They are like super creepy, nasty creatures.
Yeah.
So as always, thanks ladies for playing, and thanks everyone for watching. And until next week, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy on.